Hey everyone, how are you all doing today? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the Your Stupid Boy Audios 1K Q&A extravaganza thing that I'm doing. Thank you to everyone who sent in questions. They're all wonderful. I'll be able to get to all of them. I appreciate it very much because it would have been so embarrassing if I posted 3 different times like, hey, questions for the Q&A, you can submit them here, and nothing happened at all. I just didn't get any questions, so thank you so much to the people who did submit questions. Let's just get into it so you can learn a little bit about me, I guess. So City asks, first question, are you afraid someone will recognize you in public because of your voice or mannerisms, and if so, how would they react? Well, with such a small audience at the current moment, no, I don't really fear that. I also live in a relatively smaller town and area in general, so I don't think I would get recognized for it. But if I did get recognized for it, I guess I would kind of just say, hey, how are you doing? That is me, because I'm not going to try and invade and be like, oh no, that's not me, what are you talking about, you're crazy, because that's just gaslighting and it's weird. So I'm gonna be like, yeah, it's me. I would really appreciate it if you could keep this private, if you don't mind. If they actively come up to say, oh, you're the guy. But I would like to keep it on the down low. There might be a time in the future where I'm confident in showing myself completely. Not confident, but comfortable, because the internet is a weird place. And although I don't make those type of audios, I do make romantic boyfriend role plays. And that's something that people can get attached to, which we might get into a little bit later in the video. But yeah, so maintain a healthy boundary, but you know, even if they want a picture or something like that, maybe I'd allow it if they were like, hey, I promise I won't, just for me. Stuff like that, I guess. All right, the second question is, what's your favorite film? I am a film buff. I'm a film junkie, so this is a great question for me. And usually people are like, oh, I don't know. Favorite film is such a subjective thing. There are so many I love, and I have a very clear answer to it. It is the 2016 film Moonlight by Barry Jenkins. It is my favorite film. I actually have a degree in film, and when I was going through school, all of my essays were about Moonlight. Everything was about Moonlight. I loved it so much. I love it so much. It is genuinely just a brilliant film. The color palette is gorgeous. The performances by each of the stages of life of Chiron are amazing. All of the people who played the roles there, I think Trevante Rhodes hasn't gotten enough roles that he deserved after his performance. And Barry Jenkins is just a genius. Overall, fantastic film, and definitely my favorite. And the next question is, have you ever watched / seen something that inspired you to make an audio? I really like originality. I think one of my biggest strengths as an ASMR creator is my script writing. I'm not on the level of like the super top tier people where it's just the most natural flowing dialogue ever. For example, Gingerbread Pig is amazing at this. She is so fantastic at making the pacing of the dialogue and the cadence seem just so natural. And I would love to work like that, but there is still a certain level of, you know, showmanship in mind. But if we want to talk about actual, like a specific video, I really like Adam Hart Audio's take on the 7 Minutes in Heaven kind of thing. A very, very awkward, but pretty wholesome type of experience. And I think her voice is fantastic. So I would say that would be an inspiration for a specific video. But all the other ones, I've kind of just done on my own. I know they're fitting into tropes, but I like to kind of work around those and, as corny as it sounds, subvert expectations. And then the final question from City is, what is your personality like off script? So in real life, I'm just kind of a guy. I have a high level of social anxiety, but I'm not awkward. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm 6'3", so I'm a really big dude. And I always feel like I'm in the way of people. I always feel like I'm constantly getting in people's paths of walking and stuff like that. So I'm pretty anxious when it comes to shrinking myself. But I am actually pretty sociable. When I get into a conversation with you, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty goofy. I love a lot of the things that I talk about in my audios because they're very much based off of who I am as a person, and unless I'm expressly playing a character like the bartender audio or the himbo cheerleader audio. I love reading. I love watching films. I love writing. Obviously, I'm pumping out one of these scripts a day. If I didn't love writing, then I would not be able to do that. I love hiking. That is one thing about the himbo audio that's very true. But yeah, I guess I'm just kind of an agreeable guy who is pretty easy to get along with, and very funny. I'm very funny. I know that sounds super pretentious, but I like to make people laugh a lot, and I succeed in it most times that I attempt it. So yeah, sorry. Next up, Spooky Scary ASMR asked 2 questions that I'm going to tackle at the same time because they're very related to each other. A, what made you want to start doing audios? And B, do you have a goal for your channel, or are you just doing audios for fun? So this is really important for me, and I hope I don't sound super corny and like unreasonably, because I know there are a lot of dudes out there who get exposed for being fake feminists, and there are even some male VAs who have done some not great stuff in the community. I'm not a perfect person, obviously. Nobody is. But my genuine goal with this channel is there are not really lots of great spaces for women, and expressly young women, to feel supported in their emotional progress, whether that be processing old emotions and trauma that they're dealing with, because I do make some very serious audios, or as the classic saying is, young women aren't allowed to enjoy anything. Everything that they enjoy is made fun of. So I want to provide a safe space for both of those things to coexist, because I think it's really important, and it's just a wholesome experience. I want them to be able to take a break from the constant stress of being a woman in the world that we're in right now, and just be able to fantasize about some fun, romantic, fluffy stuff. And if I can do that at the end of the day, that is something that I will cherish accomplishing. I know that sounds so virtue signally. I promise you it's the truth. Car, go away, I'm trying to answer some questions. Car, go away, I'm trying to answer some questions. And then the final question from Spooky Scary ASMR is, what's your creative process? Like, do you listen to music, watch any media that relates to the topic of the audio you work on? No, I don't. I know I said I did that one time on Twitter, and I did do that to try and get a little bit of inspiration, and also I just really wanted to watch Hearts Beat Loud again. Embarrassing, but no, not really, not very often. I just kind of come up with the idea, and I think that would be a really good idea, and then I just kind of make the idea the next day, and I write it in a couple hours, like 3-ish, and then I'm usually good to go. I record. Usually takes me half an hour, and then edit for 45 minutes to an hour, and then the video is done. And then the whole time I'm listening to music while I'm doing that. So yeah, that is my creative process. On different types of projects that are not ASMRs, I do have a very in-depth creative process, but this just flows very easily to me, and I'm very grateful that it does. Nicholas Dropscythe asks, what or who inspired you to make ASMRs? Not really. I don't think inspired is the word, but I did listen to some really popular ASMR artists, such as thinking of Dreams of Peaches, Gingerbread Pig, as I mentioned, Endearin Audio, people like that, Afterglow ASMR, and they really are great at what they do. And I was like, I think I could do that, and also provide a level of comfort to lonely people who long for a connection, just like I do. So yeah, I think that technically would be my inspiration, along with that whole spiel that I gave about a safe space. But yeah, if I had to choose a couple of people, it would be them. Next up, Abby Angel ASMR asks, top 3 music artists. This one as opposed to movies is a very difficult question to answer. So I am going to answer. So I am going to just give you 3 that I've been listening to recently that are my favorites to listen to recently, that I've just discovered within the past, I think 6 months-ish. The first that I am listening to all the time when I am writing and editing is Patrick O'Neal, a wonderful, completely underappreciated, does not have enough eyes on him, hyperpop artist who is making top tier hyperpop music with only barely over 1,000 monthly listeners. He is fantastic. His lyrics are very, very simple, but very profound as well. And I just love the way he strings melodies together. He is great. He has almost like emo, Midwest emo riffs, guitar riffs on his songs that add this little more punk vibe to them, as opposed to normal, just kind of glossy hyper pop like Glaive and Eric DOA. And I like them, but I'm very into Patrick O'Neal as of recently. I will also give Nat and Alex Wolf. They had their new album just come out. You might know them as members of the Naked Brothers band, the brothers from the Naked Brothers band. They make very interesting folk, pop, alt stuff. My favorite from their new album is Mother I Heard From Your Lawyer, and also Heads on Loose. I think those are 2 amazing songs that I've constantly had in rotation over the past 6 months. And they are just a really, really relaxing, wonderful listen. Very unique voices, super good. I've also really been into, finally, Death's Dynamic Shroud. Kind of vaporwave, almost ambient, interpolating and incorporating a lot of vocal samples. They make just the most ethereal music possible. And if it was possible to use it in an ASMR like this, I absolutely would. But it is 100% not. It is so different, very alternative. Amazing stuff though. If you can vibe with it, you absolutely vibe with it. And if you can't get with it, it's totally understandable because it is incredibly out there. But those are 3 artists that I've really been into in recent times. Next up, also from Abby Angel ASMR, is the most popular question I may have received in the comments thus far. Do you make Spotify playlists so you can share them? Well, gang, here it is. I have made a Spotify playlist called the YSB Cinematic Universe. It is on my Spotify right now, which will be linked in the description. It is in chronological order, every single audio, music song. Jeez, why did I have a problem thinking of that? Every single song that I have used in a YSB video thus far. You can listen to all of them in order. It's a lot of fun. I really take pride in curating music for the audios. I love making soundscapes, and I think it's so important to choose great background music that fits in with the vibe of the audio. So yeah, I love the music, and I listen to all of it on a consistent basis. So yeah, go check it out on my Spotify if you want. You can follow me. I have other thematic playlists on there as well. I'm constantly making them. So if you want, if you like my music taste and it vibes with you as well, go follow me, and I will provide new artists, on a pretty consistent basis. And then the final question for Abby Angel ASMR is, how old are you? I am in my mid-20s. I'm not going to divulge my exact age because I feel like that's a little bit too much. Not in a bad way. I'm not criticizing the question itself, but I would like to keep that level of privacy just because I've already given you my name. So, just give a little bit of space between that. And the next questions are from Addison, the first two of which actually I'm going to tackle together, that are, do you take requests for scripts? If so, is there an official place for the request to be sent in? The answer for right now in the moment is no, I do not. And that's because I am really building this channel up right now, and I think that my writing style is really good. I have a minor in writing. I should be at least somewhat solid at it. And I find it very hard. Initially, one of my ideas for this channel to keep the upload rate consistent is half of my creative process, often more, is writing. Writing takes the longest, and if I could just cut that middle part, cut that part out, then I would be able to pump out 2 a day, maybe. You know what I mean? And so I went on ASMR Script Haven on Reddit, and I looked at them, and I can't do it, man. I just don't know if I can do it if it's not me writing it, because I pictured these characters, I've put the effort into them, and with this one, I don't know exactly how they want it. So unless I'm willing to have a sit-down conversation on Discord, or having a text conversation, or talking on the phone about what exactly they were intending with this character that they wrote, I don't really know if I feel comfortable tackling it. You know what I mean? But the good news is, this is something I've been thinking about for a Patreon tier. If I start one, which I very likely will in the future if this traction continues. So yeah, then I will divulge that information later. So the answer is no right now, but in the future, probably yes. Also from Addison, how did you get into recording and writing scripts? I love it. As I told you guys earlier in this video, I was a film major, and script writing is my favorite thing. My ideal job in the world would actually to literally be probably either a film critic or a script writer in the industry. I love doing it. It's so much fun. So yeah, just watching movies. And I was like, I would just love to do that. And then I've actually written scripts for short films, and I've started on scripts for feature films, and this just kind of feels the same to me. It's so much fun, and I love it. Finally, the burning question that is the most important of this quadrilogy, I would say. What's your favorite type of cake, cupcake, cake pop, and cookie? Okay, cake. My grandmother, for my birthday, used to bake me an amazing chocolate peanut butter cake, and it was so good, and it was the peanut butter icing that really did it for me, and I've never had any sort of icing that has remotely come close to that in my lifetime, ever. Favorite type of cupcake? Red velvet. Red velvet in a cake slice is too much for me. It's too rich. Red velvet in a cupcake in a condensed form is perfect. Cake pop, I don't really eat cake pops. I actually don't know if I've ever had a cake pop before. I will have to, and I can't because I'm gluten-free. So I was about to say, I'll have to get one from Starbucks, but I can't do that. So, and then favorite cookie, once again, kind of revealing my bias, peanut butter. There is nothing better than a good peanut butter cookie that actually tastes like a peanut butter cookie and not just a normal cookie with like little bits of peanut butter in it. Jayla asks, how do you radiate so much positive energy? I just really, honestly, it's about knowing who you are. It's all about understanding yourself to the fullest extent. It's about, you have to take the time to really properly process all of your past traumas, process everything that you've done in your life, and get to a point where you are 100% comfortable with who you are and who you're going to be, and confident in that. And I think I am. It took me a very long time. I had a lot of stuff to get over. I had a lot of things that I had to get past, but I think I'm there now. Of course, there will be things in the future, but I can do that as it goes. I know the healthy ways in processing emotions now. I know who I am and what the best options for that are. So yeah, just that kind of, I think. Ash asks, what are your favorite type of audios to make? Just like everyone else, I do have an affinity for friends to lovers. I think that is just a fun thing that you can take in so many different directions. But another one that I really enjoy, and this is going to be super embarrassing, I loved making the himbo audio. That was so much freaking fun. It's so nice to just write a character that is so purely wholesome and wonderful and cares about the world. And maybe, he's just trying his best. And I love that. So I had a lot of fun making that audio. I would put that up there too. Hey, -3- I don't know what the symbols mean, so you have to excuse me, asks, what made you start your channel? And what are some things that inspire the content that you post? What made me start my channel is, I kind of went over this, but I'm gonna give a little bit of a different answer because it would just be boring if I was repeating the same thing over and over again. I really thought I would do well at this, man. It's been about a year since I wanted to start making audios because I found this genre of content in 2022. And I made the Your Stupid Boy name, and it was originally just going to be Your Stupid Boy, not Your Stupid Boy Audios. But people seem to add that at the end, so I did that anyways. And just recently, I've been really hitting a creative rut with some of my other channels, and I was like, hey, let's do this, man. Let's absolutely do this, and let's just go full force. And I've been doing that, and it has paid off dividends thanks to all of you who I am so appreciative of. And yeah, so it was just kind of on a whim. And some things that inspire me to post, I'm gonna just kind of take this as people who inspire me on the website to have the type of energy that I have while posting. And the biggest one is Garrett Watts. I love Garrett Watts. He is one of my favorite YouTubers. He is the biggest golden retriever in the world, and he has gotten me through some incredibly tough times, and he provides this amazing community for his community, for all intents and purposes. And I kind of really just want to be that for the ASMR community if it is at all possible. So yeah, that's the answer to those. Rosa Gutierrez asks, what are 3 cool facts about yourself? Obviously, cool is subjective, but I'll try and give you 3 fun ones that I personally enjoy. One is in my senior year of high school, I was getting so bored with doing things that me and my good friend Tim started a trash can jousting league in our school cafeteria, where we would set up trash cans on either side of the cafeteria, push them towards each other, and we would get these swords, these plastic swords. Sorry if I made a bump in the audio. These plastic swords that were from our English teacher's room because they used them to act out Shakespearean stuff. And whoever would hit the other person and get them to fall out of the trash can first would win. It was really stupid. It was really dumb, but it was so much fun, and I had a blast doing that. The other one, I guess I can say, I was on prom court, and that was pretty cool. It was one of the weirdest things ever. One of the rules for our class was we started having courts in our junior year, and it was like, hey, if you're not on a court, if you've already been on a court, you can't be on a court again. So I made the 4th possible court, and I'm pretty happy about that. And it was the final prom, so it was really dope. And then a third cool fact about me is that I absolutely love vinyl records. I know that's not necessarily cool, but I don't have that much of a vinyl collection right now because I didn't really have a place to store it in the past. But now I do, and I'm really excited to just get vinyls. I got a Rosalia one recently. I got the Lighthouse score recently. So those are 3 cool facts, I think. I hope. Pooj asks, do you watch anime? If yes, which one is your fave? And unfortunately, I'm about to probably upset some people in this audience, but I don't watch anime. All of my friends in high school watched anime. I just really don't. I don't know why. I can never get into it, but it's also a part of a long form thing with television. I think I'm a huge film guy, and I'm not a television guy really at all, because investing myself into that long of a period of time for what is, in my opinion, a reward I could get from simply watching a film isn't necessarily worth the effort I'm putting in for me. I respect people who do watch anime, and there are some ones that look just amazing. If you want to talk about film anime, I love Your Name, all of the Ghibli films, whichever one you want to call it at this point. If you want to talk about films, I love Your Name. I love the Ghibli films. I love all of those. I will watch those, absolutely. Weathering with You was a really cute one that I watched a couple years ago. So yeah, unfortunately though, not on the TV shows. I did watch Dragon Ball Z with my friend at one point because he really loved that. So I guess if I had to say anything, I've watched Dragon Ball Z before. It is my favorite because it's the only one I've watched. Pooj also asks, what's your favorite genre of music? And I would have to say, although I love every genre, and I love most genres pretty equally, I would have to say that my favorite is classical. Nothing beats beautiful instrumentation to me. The complexities of each instrument interwoven with the others, the piano, the guitar, the horns. Everything is just amazing to listen to. So I have a playlist that is just strictly, basically classical music, and I listen to that probably the most out of any playlist that I have. So yeah, classical music wins for me any day of the week. Kira asks, if you could travel to any part of the world, where would you go? I would go to Italy. I've always wanted to go to Italy. I know a little bit of Italian, enough that I'd be able to converse with the people, and I really want to go there, man. It is so gorgeous. I've looked into in the past going and taking like stays at specific farmhouses and stuff like that, where you kind of have to still pay, but it's at a very discounted rate, and in exchange for the work that you provide, they provide you with housing and you get to explore the land. But I think at some point I will absolutely be going to Italy because it is just amazing there. And then the second question, how's life been treating you lately? I hope it's good. Thank you so much. I love this question. I love when you guys wish me a good day in the comments. You have no idea how much that means to me. It is just absolutely a morale booster completely. And I have actually been having a really good time recently. I was down for the count a little bit a couple months ago, but I'm feeling really great. I'm doing well professionally. This channel is doing great, and overall my morale is just at a pretty solid high note right now. So yeah, thank you so much for asking. Dark Knight Rays asks, hi, my question is, what made you do YouTube videos? And this is an important one because YouTube videos is not the same as ASMRs. YouTube videos is YouTube videos, and I've been doing those for a very long time across multiple different channels that have kind of done well and then kind of teetered out, but have gotten above the 1,000 subscriber mark and never above the 10. So what has inspired me to make YouTube videos? I'm just going to list off some of my favorite creators. I love Jacob Geller. Jacob Geller's video essays on video games are immaculate. I absolutely adore them. Red Letter Media is, because I'm a film person, someone who has played a huge part in my development in that regard. I absolutely love ContraPoints. I think she's fantastic. I wouldn't say she's necessarily super inspiration, but some of the way in which I deliver my cadence on certain videos and audios is because of her. So I would give her some props as well. I'd also say that Nathan Zed played a big part in my YouTube journey. I've been watching him for over a decade, and his new style of video essays that aren't actually video essays, but just kind of seem like sit-down conversations is absolutely top tier. There's some other ones, but those are my big ones. And then finally, we have a bunch of questions from Anna Naley. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, you can correct me in the comments. The first question is, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? It would absolutely be chicken wings. Naked chicken wings with some really hot sauce on there, with some ghost pepper sauce on there, with some lemon pepper, garlic parm, anything. Chicken wings all the way. I can eat them all the time. They're not necessarily the most unhealthy thing for you. Love them to death. What's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for you? I'm gonna keep my mom out of this one because she's my best friend and she does amazing things for me on a very consistent basis, and I love her to death. So the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me outside of her, because there are too many things for me to even count, actually is my ex, who I ended on very bad terms with and was very bad to me later on in our relationship. But at a certain point for my birthday, she gave me this box that had a bunch of slips of paper in it, and I would pull out the slips of paper and it would be all of these things that she loved about me. And then at the bottom of the box, it said reasons I love you. And it was really, really, really sweet. It was really, really adorable. It's just a shame that she was not a great person, actually, because that was a really sweet thing to do. Next up, at the time of recording, what was your favorite moment of the past week? And this is I'm not trying to pander to y'all or cater to y'all in any way whatsoever, but I will say my favorite moment, sorry about the cars in the background if you can hear that. My favorite moment was hitting 1,000 subscribers. That's so huge. The fact that we went from like 100 something to 1,200 in 5 days is absolutely nutty, and the progression is still going, and hitting that milestone, and then soon, once the watch hours registered catches up with how many watch hours I actually have. Hopefully we'll be able to be monetized. Hitting that milestone was really, really big for me this week. What would you like us to call you? Okay, so I've already revealed my actual name on in the comments of this channel. It is Colin. You can call me Colin if you want. You can also call me YSB if you want. Between those two, those are pretty solid options, I'd say. Yeah. Since you write your own scripts, how long does it take to turn an idea into a published audio? So what I like to do is, for example, the polls that I put up and stuff like that. And therefore, they're a 24-hour poll for you to decide what you want the next video to be. And so I come up with the ideas literally right before I put the poll up, unless they're remainder ideas from the last poll. And I put them in the poll, and then I wait the 24 hours, and then after the 24 hours is over, I see the idea that's won, and I say, okay, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. And then the next day I do it, and I write it. And then that's how it goes, man. It's pretty simple, but it really, really, really works for me. And then, of course, as I said, there's the kind of half an hour recording, 45 minutes, and then I make sure to have it done the night before, which is also because perhaps, maybe I want one of my Patreon tiers to be early access to audios. Who knows? So yeah, usually it takes about a day and a half from original conception of the idea to actually having it on the channel, ready to go, thumbnail completed, just scheduled for upload. Next, what is something you're really looking forward to right now? Well, as I've told you, I'm a film guy, and this is super, super embarrassing, but last week did not have great films, honestly. I saw Talk to Me, and although everybody loved it, I wasn't super into it, to be honest with you, and I'm not a huge A24 guy anymore, but I was a big A24 guy back in the day. And then the Haunted Mansion remake really did not vibe with me. The cast was great, but geez Louise, there was just so much product placement and just kind of the story was a bunch of nothing. But this week I am excited for a very camp film to come out, and that is The Meg 2. I cannot wait to see The Meg 2, where Jason Statham chainsaws a shark. I'm so excited for that. Yeah. What sort of hobbies do you have outside of voice acting? Like I said, other YouTube channels, reviewing films, doing video essays. I love reading. I love hiking. I love just relaxing and absorbing the little moments. I walk really slow, not like super slow to the point where I look like I'm a turtle, but much slower than the people that I generally walk with, because I like to just take in everything around me at any moment possible. And if I'm not in a rush, then I don't need to be, you know? Do you have a secret talent? No, not really. I get that. You get that question all the time in like orientations and first days of classes and stuff. I don't really have a secret talent. I guess my secret talent from the rest of the world, except for you guys really, is I can sing kind of, and I like singing a lot. I used to do it a lot in high school, but ever since I got out, I haven't really done it as much. But now I have an excuse to do it for you guys. So yeah. Do you speak any languages besides English? I do. I speak Spanish. I speak a little bit of French, and I speak a little bit more of Italian. And finally, give us one random fact about yourself. I am a brunette. How about that? I'm a brunette, but I've always wanted to go platinum blonde, and I don't know why. I really, really did, but for like 3 years, and then I was like, I haven't done it by now. I just don't think I'm gonna do it in general. So that's it. Thank you so much for all of the questions. It has been an absolutely wonderful journey thus far, and I cannot wait to continue on that journey with you all. You have been so incredibly supportive. The fact that the Himbo audio has like 2,500 views in literally less than a day is nutty to me. And I am so freaking appreciative. You have no idea. So yeah, thank you so much for sending in the questions. This has been the 1K Q&A. Let me know in the comments what you want me to do for 2K. I'll think about it. We're coming up on that. So yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.